This story has got headlines right around the world, and the reaction seems to be very much divided. You know, those on one hand saying this should never have gone as far as it did. Let Sam Kerr get back to captaining Australia and playing for Chelsea, which is what she does best, scoring goals. And on the other hand, you've got other people saying that, this doesn't excuse the behaviour that we saw in the police station that night in the widely televised half-hour episode between Sam Kerr and the various police constables at the time, which led to the charge that was made. And as you say, not guilty. It was a unanimous decision. The judge did say in handing down that decision that there was also going to be an implication as to costs. The judge said at the time that, it was her own behaviour that contributed significantly to the case that was brought, and that will have a significant bearing on the question of costs, which will be handed down at a later time.
Yeah, so that decision to come. What has Sam Kerr had to say in the meantime following this verdict?
As you'd expect, she's very relieved. In a statement that she put out on Instagram, she said she can finally put this very challenging situation and this period behind her. She wanted to apologise for expressing herself poorly on what was a traumatic evening for her. She said she always maintained she did not intend to insult or harm anyone, and was thankful that the jury unanimously agreed. She then went on to thank her family, her partner, of course, who was expecting their first child in May, and her many fans around the world for their support. And she said she's now fully focused on getting back onto the pitch.
Yeah, so recovering from injury, but, looking forward, as you say. But, Tracey, what has this case done for Sam Kerr's reputation?
Look, I think no matter which way you look at it, and no matter how much of a Sam Kerr supporter you are, you would have to agree that it has done some damage, reputational damage. Now, that's not to say she can't come back from that. She has apologised. We know that one of the criminal charges was dropped, and that was for criminal damage to the taxi. She paid for that. So we know that along the way she has said that she's been embarrassed by some of her behaviour, and this will definitely have a lingering effect. For how long, we need to wait and see. That is in the mind of the general public, but also that raises questions for Football Australia and Sam Kerr's position in the Matildas, not so much being a part of the team, but whether she continues as captain in the near term.
And Tracey, I have to ask, the incident was kept quiet for roughly a year. Have any clubs or governing bodies taken issue with that fact?
Look, I think it caught definitely Football Australia and probably Chelsea by absolute surprise. And I think there's a lesson there for all athletes who might get caught up in situations like this, no matter what the circumstances were around it, and how it could be justified or explained. But one does have to wonder that if Sam Kerr came out, and all of this happened prior to the FIFA World Cup, so she went into the World Cup with this hanging over her shoulders. She came out early on, apologised for the situation as she has done, and her comments to the police officer, also commenting that she had paid for the damages to the taxi, explained that it was after a night of celebration. I think many people probably would have understood the situation she found herself in. But because there was this, I won't say cover-up, but there was this silence and non-transparency, which most definitely has raised issues for those that govern football and those that pay her salary.